Okay, everybody, I believe we're live. Yes, we do, Cheyenne. I'm going to continue the one we were doing the other day, about the escape of Eamon de Valera from Lincoln Prison. Hi, Count Beauty. Lovely timing as always. Yo, left, right. Great to see you. Okay, so we're going to continue. Last time hi VG. So last time the last bit we saw was fellow prisoner Sean Milroy was put to the task and drew a cartoon of a drunk man trying to fit a large key into a tiny keyhole on what appeared to be a harmless Christmas card. The censors were duped. The image sent to their associates was, in fact, a copy of the impression taken by de Valera. So, Shalom Renyard. Hi Abira, good to see you. So, we're going to continue with the same one that we were doing. Yay. Okay. So, this, if you remember, they were trying to make a key to open a gate to escape from Lincoln Prison. And nobody had ever escaped from Lincoln Prison before. So this was quite a feat they were talking about. And this, I think, is about 1920, something like that. Good evening, El Gaming. Okay, so let me read. On the outside of the prison, a key was cut to the dimensions on the card and conveyed, smuggled, transferred, delivered into the prison inside a cake. According to a statement given 30 years later by conspirator Liam McMahon, it was taken to the jail by a man called Fintan Murphy. Good evening, Gabriel. So, Count Beauty goes for delivered into the prison. And I'm sure we're going to get some more. Lincoln has a nice cathedral, that's true. Good evening, Minati. Great to see you. So, Lincoln, yeah. Renyard goes for smuggled. Cheyenne goes for transferred. This is interesting. We've had 3 different answers to start with. Okay, and others of you are thinking. So, let's see. And left, right, and Gabriel go for smuggled as well as Renyard. Well, I'm going to give you a clue. Transferred into goes Abira. Notice, to take illegal things into a prison is not a legal thing to do. Yeah? And there's only one of these 4 words that describes something illegal. Let's see, I guess conveyed, transferred, delivered, they would all fit. Okay, so that's a good point, but you can definitely use into with smuggle. So drugs were smuggled into the company. Good evening, Roland. Manji goes for smuggled. Gabriel, the brother of Victor Gabriel, I like it. So, smuggle is illegal, yeah. To smuggle is to take things most commonly from one country to another, which is illegal, yeah? So notice, to convey, to take from one place to another. To transfer, from one place to another. To deliver, the postman delivers. But to smuggle is also illegal. So notice, all of these words fit, but smuggle, whoops, is the correct answer. M-U-G-G-L-E. Okay, a smuggler. Good evening, Zainbab. Good evening, Ronan. Okay, good afternoon. For me it's evening, but I'm sure for Victor Gabriel it's late morning or early afternoon. Yeah, it's probably mid-afternoon for him. Okay, so to smuggle, to take from one place to another. You smuggle things into a country, particularly drugs or weapons or illegal things. So a smuggler smuggles things from one place to another. Okay, so yes, a smuggler smuggles. To smuggle contraband, but definitely to smuggle inside a jail. Okay, let's see. We're still waiting for this to go to the next one. Here we go. McMahon said in a statement he was a commercial traveller, and somebody in Manchester had asked him to bring this cake. He was taken inside, and the head warder, sentry, screw, turnkey was called, who brought a very thin knife and started prodding, stabbing, thrusting, butting the cake. Exactly, drug smuggler left or right. That's a perfect collocation. In this case, McMahon is a key smuggler. He's smuggling contraband into the prison. Okay, so we've had one vote here from Cheyenne who says a warder. Okay, and okay, interesting. Cheyenne goes for warder, Gabriel goes for warder, Leferite goes for screw. Count goes for warden and prodding. Okay, I'm going to wait for some more votes here. Roland goes for warding. So look at these words: warder, sentry, screw, turnkey. Okay, let's look at a couple of the words while we're waiting. Leferite goes for screw and prodding. Renyard goes for warder and stabbing. So a sentry, it can't be a sentry. A sentry is normally a military, a soldier. A soldier is a sentry. There is a sentry. There are sentries outside Buckingham Palace. There a sentry is on guard duty. So it's definitely not a sentry. I quite like this word turnkey. But nowadays we don't use the word turnkey. Turnkey is extremely old-fashioned. I think if you were reading Charles Dickens or something like that, it might have the word turnkey. Ronan goes for warder, and Roland's gone for prodding. So that leaves us with warder and screw. What's the difference? Because they both mean the same thing. Notice, screw is very, very informal. Yeah? Whereas warder is neutral formality. If you're an inmate in a prison, the warders are called screws. Yeah? But a screw. In this case, screw is much too informal to actually fit here. Okay, so lots of people going for prodding. Manji goes for warder and prodding. Ronan goes for prodding as well. So the answer is warder. I guess screw would fit, but it's too informal. And turnkey would fit, but it's too old-fashioned. The official name of somebody in a who looks after prisoners in a prison is a warder. Now, next one's interesting. So, he took a very thin knife and he started prodding, stabbing, thrusting, butting the cake. Hospital ward, prison ward. Yes. Maybe you're an old lag, left or right. You've got the right word. The word has the right meaning, but you've missed the formality. Yeah. If you're writing an essay, don't use the word screw unless it's a letter to a friend. So Minati goes for warder. I can't write unless I'm on screen. Why? Too bad. I don't know, Maria. Turnkey is archaic. Okay, and everyone's going for prodding. So prodding is definitely the right answer. Prodding. Okay, to stab, this is to try to kill somebody with a knife. And if he starts stabbing it violently with a knife, then I guess the cake is going to fall to pieces. Okay, so good evening, Hadi. Good evening, Senor de las Salas. Okay, prodding, pushing with the finger. Here he's prodding with the key. Thrusting. To thrust is to push. The engine was thrusting forwards. Yeah? And then butting. To butt is to bang against, particularly the collocation. A headbutt. Huh. Okay, so, or maybe, for example, a goat, it runs at you and it butts you with its head, or it butts you with its horns. Yeah, and that is to butt. Whereas to prod is to push. Yeah, and this is clearly the right one. So well done, Minati, Hadi, Abira. I think all of you. I think everybody went for prodding, which is good. I could prod someone with my finger. I prodded my friend in the cinema because he had fallen asleep and he was snoring. It sounds really funny, this, to send the key inside in a cake, because this cake plot is 1,000 years old. It's corny nowadays. What's up, Vitali? Great to see you. Butt in line. Okay. Leach into, to drain from one place to another. Konnichiwa. Good to have you. Okay, so let's try the next one. Fintan was in agony over the thing as to what would happen in the occasion, in the occurrence, in the incident, in the event of the knife touching the key. Anyway, it never contacted the key and the cake was put in. The plot failed, however, as the key did not fit. So, here we have two very good clues, in and of. Good evening, Vibes. Okay, that's good as well. Okay, so, let's see. Occasion. What's the preposition that should go before the occasion? Huh. Okay, so on an occasion. Yeah? In the occurrence of. Poof. I don't like this. If there was the occurrence of the knife hitting touching the key, happen in the incident of, no, as all of you have said, in the event of. In the event of fire, press this button. Yeah, that's it. On an occasion, exactly. Who was that? Minati. Yes, but in the event of. In the event of an emergency, on the occasion, exactly, Cheyenne. And I think occurrence and incident just don't fit. On the occasion of his birthday, also an occasion is is talking about a happening. On the occasion of his birthday. Incident, no. What would happen if there was an incident and the knife touched the key? But most normally an incident talks about an accident. Yeah? Yeah. Okay, that's very good, Roland. Okay, in the case of the knife touching the key, that works very nice, left or right as well. The plot failed, however, because the key did not fit the lock. So after all that work, the key didn't fit. Good evening, Pepax. Great to see you. Okay, so in the event of, on the occasion of your birthday. And now we've got another one coming up, but that's real bad luck that the plot failed because the key did not fit. So, de Valera, who realized the wax must have shrunk, dwindled, shriveled, ebbed before the drawing was made, later wrote, As I examined the joy of having got the key, it was qualified by a feeling that it was too small. So, good evening, Maria Mikkonen. I haven't said hello to you. So notice this must have. This is a logical conclusion, a logical certainty. It must be true. Yeah? So if something must have happened, this is where you're speculating and you're certain what happened. Here. This is interesting. So Vitali's gone for shriveled. And good evening, Sherwin. Great to have you as well. Left right goes for shrunk. Count Beauty goes for shriveled. Here. Mr. de las Salas goes for shriveled as well. That's quite interesting. So, Abira goes for shrunk, Maria Mikkonen goes for shrunk, Ronan goes for shrunk, and good evening, Williams. So, let's look at some of these. Roland goes for shrunk, Renyard goes for shrunk. And, I think this is interesting because I think probably both the answers that you've given are right. Let's see, to ebb means to decrease. Good evening, Paolo Farina. Shrunk, you say. Manji goes for ebbed or dwindled. But you'd like to know. Cold weather makes things shrink. Hot weather makes things shrivel. Minati goes for ebbed. Okay, let's look at this verb to ebb. Sherwin goes for shrivel. To ebb is to decrease, to go down, particularly in level. The tide, the sea, it comes up and up and up and up and up, and then it ebbs, it goes back. Or the moon, it waxes and wanes, the moon ebbs, it slowly gets smaller. A plant shrivels, that's right, Roland. Minati goes for ebbed as well. The interest ebbed, but here, let's see. If we were talking about liquid wax in a container and the level was going down, that would be ebb. Yeah, the ebb and flow. And ebb's not the right answer. To dwindle. To dwindle means to get less, and an amount gets less. Yeah. So yeah, the money in his bank account was dwindling. The time left is dwindling. Interest is dwindling. So it's got to either be shrunk or shriveled. Yeah, Ronan says he personally thinks that shrivel doesn't fit. I think to shrivel fits. If something dries up, it shrivels. Yeah? But the wax probably doesn't have any water in it. But I think shrivel could fit. Yeah. Life may also ebb from an agonizing body. If we talked about a plum would definitely shrivel. Very definitely. But shrivel would work. And I think it's a reasonable answer. However, the original answer in the article is shrunk. Yeah? Okay? And I think shrunk is probably better. Because if something's shriveling, it's drying out. But notice it's a piece of wax, not a key. Yeah? The key isn't shriveling. The key isn't shrinking. It's the piece of wax. And that's why shrivel would work. I would prefer shrivel for something organic. If something shrivels as well, it's all dried up. Whereas to shrunk just gets smaller. Yeah, okay, so to shrink, shrank. The house was dwindling in the distance as we went ahead. Went, Roland. Yeah? Okay, the sun ebbed. The apple shriveled in the sun. The leaves shriveled in the sun. But my shorts shrunk in the wash because the water was too hot. Okay, so in this case, I think shrunk is the best answer, but I think shriveled also fits. The explanation is all the point to the live stream. Without the explanation, it would be very difficult to do something. It's all shriveled, it's all dried up. Yeah, like you said, an apple shriveled, exactly. So, a second cartoon was dispatched, this time with the key impression cloaked, shrouded, misrepresented, disguised at the centre of an ornate Celtic pattern. And the second key was smuggled, notice smuggled, into the prison inside another cake. Okay, so we've already got 3 votes for disguise. Count, Vitaly and Cheyenne. Okay, so cloaked, shrouded, misrepresented, disguised. I'm interested what the meanings of these 2 words, cloaked and shrouded, is. So, seems like a lot of people are going for disguise. So what is a shroud? What is a shroud? Yeah? So Roland goes for described, Manji goes for described, left or right, disguised. Okay. Abuba goes for misrepresented, Maria goes for disguised, Pepax goes for shrouded. Okay. No, he's asking, yeah, he's wondering about shrouded. Renyard goes for disguise, but what is a shroud? And while we're at it, cloak and shroud to cover, very good indeed. Yes, a shroud is the cover that you put over a dead body. Yeah? The shroud is a wrap that goes over a dead body, and it's usually a little bit transparent. Yeah? And then cloaked, completely hidden or covered. I keep thinking of Star Trek and the Klingon cloaking device. If something's cloaked, you just can't see it at all. Misrepresented. No, if something's misrepresented, it's the wrong shape. Yeah. Yeah, a shroud of mist. The valley was shrouded in mist. The room was cloaked in darkness, so I had to turn on the light. So, definitely, disguised, D-I-S-G-U-I-S-E-D. A disguise is to make one thing look like another. That's definitely... so, yes, the spy wore a disguise to so that he wouldn't be recognized. Yeah? He put on a burqa to cloak his face. Shrouded in mist. Shrouded in mystery. Shrouded and cloaked has this idea of covered, like Gabriel said, and I think somebody else said as well. Harry Potter invisibility cloak. That's very good. I love it. Left or right? Okay. When that failed, yet another was roast, ovened, grilled, baked. So the second one failed as well. Yes, like a military ghillie. Okay, that's very good, Sherwin. A cloak is a garment like a coat, yes. So the second one failed as well. When that failed, yet another was roast, ovened, grilled, baked. An oblong fruitcake, McMahon recalled. This time containing a blank key and a set of chisels, rivets, drills, files, so that it could be shaped to fit the lock. Yeah, cloak and dagger. That's very good. I like that, Roland. Okay, so we've had various votes for grill. Oh, okay. Count has gone for grilled, various for baked. Gabriel gone for baked. Count has gone back to baked. Cheyenne, Ren, Abira, Abuba has gone for grilled. Left or right gone for Brett. So my answer was disguised. Disguised, Ronan. Disguised. Disguised. Okay, and Manji goes for baked and files. So Manji's been braver. So baked and left right goes for files. Count Beauty goes for rivets. So there's a very good, clear question. What is the difference between roast, bake, grill, and oven? So Minati goes for baked, Sherwin goes for baked and files, Gabriel goes for chisels, Maria goes for baked chisels, Abira goes for drills, and Pepax goes for files. Ronan says baked, of course, ovened and chiseled. Okay, so if you bake something, you cook it dry. You bake bread. Baked is cooked without oil in an oven. Yeah? Ovened is just a general word put in an oven. And I guess ovened would fit. To grill is normally on an open fire or with heat above or heat below. Yeah? And you don't grill a cake. You roast a chicken. You roast beef. Yeah? So, but you bake a cake. To bake is to cook in an oven dry. And now the next one, I cook almost every day as well, Manji, so it's good. So the next one's more interesting. We've got chisels, rivets, drills, and files. So it could be shaped to fit the lock. So the big question, what are chisels, what are rivets, what are drills, and what are files? So Sherwin says filing a key. Oh, we've got lots of answers for files, but we've got various for other ones. Rivets for Cheyenne, Gabriel's gone for chisels. Okay, yes, grilling on the barbecue. It's possible to grill a cake, but it's not going to come out very nice left, right? You want to bake it. I'm sure Manji makes great things. Okay, so let's see. Don't roast me. That's very good. To roast, as Pepax or Ren put there, to make fun of somebody, to ask them very difficult questions. Okay, a chisel is most normally to cut wood. A carpenter would use a chisel. A chisel is like a screwdriver with a very sharp end, and you use it to make shapes in wood. If you want to carve wood, you use chisels. A rivet is used to join two pieces of metal together. You make a hole between the two pieces of metal, and you put your rivet through, and you bang both sides, and that is a rivet. A rivet joins two pieces of metal. That film was riveting. It held me to it. It was really interesting. A drill is also an exercise, but we use a drill to make holes. You have an electric drill. So I used a drill to make a hole in the wall. Well, I used a drill to make a hole in the two pieces of metal so I could rivet them together. But the right answer is a file. So you have a nail file for your nails. Yeah? A file is something that you use just to rub something, and it's abrasive and it rubs it down. Here we have a file, so little files to slowly reduce the size. It's like it scratches off very gently little pieces of it. Okay, so that's a completely different meaning. A nail file, a metal file. Okay, so the answer here is a file. To file something down. Oh, that sounds great, Manji. I would love to try some of your dishes. Okay, so to file, to reduce. Okay, so the blank key, so it's the full key without anything. An artist uses chisels to shape material, particularly somebody who carves something in wood, Maria, yes. The blank key was given to fellow prisoner Peter de Lowry, who had been able to examine a prison lock after managing to take it apart using an contraband, bootleg, unlawful, black screwdriver. With that extra knowledge, it was he who, it's a really nice structure that, it was he who was able to fashion to make a master key capable of unlocking any door in the jail and of winning de Valera his freedom. File the mould. Yes, that would work. Good evening, Kubile. Okay, so a German layer cake cooked under the grill. That's interesting. A file is a thing for fingernails or for metal, definitely. So, contraband, it says Vitali. Unlawful, says Count Beauty. Cheyenne goes for contraband. And Manji goes for contraband. Roland goes for contraband. Left for right goes for contraband. Okay, so, bootleg. What is bootleg? To me, bootleg, it either has two meanings. It's either when you make an illegal recording of a concert and then publish it, or you could have bootleg whiskey, illegal whiskey, or illegal alcohol that doesn't have the tax paid. In the US during Prohibition, there were lots and lots of bootleggers making illegal alcohol. Okay, so thank you very much, Jacob. So Paul goes for contraband as well. I like that, what you've just said, Roland. Contraband equals smuggled goods. So, a black screwdriver. Well, I know you can talk about black money, but the screwdriver was black as well. It would fit, but we're not talking about the colour of it. So, unlawful, I suppose so. But there are lots of things that are unlawful, whereas contraband, this is easily the best one. So, contraband. And as Roland said, a smuggler smuggles contraband. Yeah? Contraband is something that you smuggle from one place to another. Yeah, it's something illegal that you're not supposed to have. Computer games, pirates are perfectly familiar with the term bootleg. Nowadays, to bootleg, something that's smuggled is contraband. Exactly, Vitali. Bootleg. To bootleg, it nowadays means to copy something illegally. Yeah, when I was a kid, computers didn't exist, and you could buy bootleg copies of famous people's concerts and things like that. Yeah, and I guess bootleg is talking more about a copy of something. Yeah, a falsification. So yeah, there's a guy selling bootleg Louis Vuitton suitcases on a blanket outside the shop. Yeah, but contraband, something that's smuggled is contraband, very definitely. Okay, so this is contraband. Yeah, the customs officer asks you if there is any contraband in your luggage. Okay, at about 7:40 p.m. on 3 February 1919, de Valera, Milroy and a third man, Sean McGarry, used the key cut by de Lowry to open their cell doors and lock them behind them. Slipping, sliding, skidding, slithering out into the dark and misty exercise yard, they made their way to the gate. So, this is interesting. Splipping. Okay, I'll accept splipping, Gabriel. I like it. I've always got lots of typographical errors. Slipping and count and Pepax and vibes. Good evening, vibes. I haven't said good evening to you. Okay, so we've got a load of votes for slipping. So let's see. I don't know if you saw the video about slither. To slither is to move on your belly like a snake. Sherwin goes for slipping. Not only slithering, that means you actually really do listen to my videos, Pepax. That's very good. Okay, to slither like a snake. They didn't crawl on their belly. Yeah? They walked. And Leferite, Roland, Manji, and Paul go for slipping. Sliding is physical. I was sliding on the ice. I slid the door open. To skid is in a car. Yeah, when you push the brakes too hard and the ABS doesn't work. But to slip, well, you can slip on the ice as well. But to slip out means to leave without being noticed. I slipped out of the meeting because I didn't want to make a lot of noise. Here. You're for slither. No, it's not slither. If they crawled on their bellies, yes. Wow, thank you, Leferite. That's really, really kind of you. I really appreciate that. To slip out, to pop out, absolutely. To move unnoticed. Here. It's slip out, it's slip, slip out. Yeah? The truth slipped out of his mouth while he wasn't talking about it. So notice, slide, skid, slither. These are all physical movements. Whereas to slip out is talking about to leave unnoticed. I slipped into the meeting. So the answer is definitely to slip. Slipping. Thank you again, Leferite. That's really kind of you. Yeah, that's really, really kind of you. To slip out, to sneak out. That's very good vibes. That's a good synonym. Yeah, or to sneak in, to slip in. Or he slipped past the guards. Yeah? He slipped past the guards by slithering on his belly. Yeah? Okay, so yes, he was sliding on the ice. He went into a skid with his motorbike. Okay, so to slip in, to pass unnoticed, to be very quiet about something. Okay, okay, and that's the use of slip. That's very good question, vibes. I would say sneaked, sneaked, but snuck I think also works. To me, snuck sounds very American. Sneak, snuck, snuck. So vibes, it's what I call a schizophrenic verb, which means it's both regular and irregular. Slipping does not have to relate to stealth, to sneak. But it could, so slip can relate to stealth, but it can also relate to other things. So that's the idea, Maria Mikkonen. A car skidded on the road, exactly, Gabriel. He slipped to sleep during the break, to slowly move into sleep. That's a very good example, Pepax. Hi, Prashant. Leferite, don't tell the tax man. I'll try not to. Okay, so we're now down to the next one. Snuck is American English. Thank you, Vitaly, because I hear the Americans saying snuck, but to me, sneaked. Okay, on the other side, top-ranking Republicans, Michael Collins and Harry Bolland, were among those waiting for them. Collins had also had a key cut. Notice this causative, have something done, had a key cut. But when he tried to open the gate from the outside, it snapped, fractured, splintered, cracked in the lock. So Collins is waiting outside, and he'd also had a key cut, but it broke inside the lock. So this is interesting. So let's see. Vibes goes for snap, so does Cheyenne. Amin, good evening, goes for fractured. Count Beauty goes for cracked. Abubak goes for cracked. Snuck is American. Snapped goes Vitali. Snapped goes Ren. Snapped goes Roland. Schizophrenic verb is both. It's both regular and irregular. You can use either the regular form or the irregular form. Learn, learned, learned, or learn, learnt, learnt. And that's what I mean by schizophrenic. That's my own phrase, by the way, Vibes. It's not an official one. Left right goes for snapped. Stuck in the lock. Well, that might have been a problem if it got stuck in the lock. Okay, so Manji's going for snapped. Sherwin, I like your reasoning, and your reasoning is absolutely perfect. Yeah. So to splinter is to break into splinters, and it didn't break into splinters. To crack, maybe if it cracked, it didn't break. You could have a crack in a glass, or a crack in a piece of metal, or a crack in the wall. Okay, a splinter is, you get a splinter, it's like a shard in your finger, a splinter of wood. No, the right answer is snapped. Yeah, if something snaps, it breaks. To snap is to break. Yeah, to splinter is it would break into lots of tiny pieces. To fracture fits, but like Sherwin said, fractured is too formal. It's snapped, and to snap is a lot more informal. So it's snapped in the lock. The earthquake cracked the wall. The crash splintered the bone in my arm into lots of long shards or splinters. Crack is more mild, and splinters related to wood. Fracture's more about bone or more official. Snapped. Yeah, I got a splinter in my finger and it was bloody painful. Okay, snap. Break suddenly. Absolutely. Yeah. He's turning it and he turns it and it goes and it breaks. Fearing their luck might have run out, de Valera slotted his key, entered his key from the other side, rammed, poked, shoved, dug out Collins's broken key, turned the lock, and the three men slipped through. So we've got 2 votes for shoved out. Maria Mikkonen goes for snapped. The accident splintered the mirror. An accident splintered the mirror. That's good. So, rammed, poked, shoved, dug out Collins's key. Cheyenne goes for shoved and Leferite goes for poked. This is interesting. Amin goes for shoved. This is interesting. I'm going to wait for some more answers. Rammed by Poe. Okay. Sherwin goes for shoved. Okay. Exactly, left or right. Exactly. That's the point. So if they dug out, Collins pulled it out from de Valera pulled it out from his side, and he didn't. He pushed it through the other way. Now, notice, they've already broken one key in the lock, and they've had real problems. What's the difference between ram, poke, and shove? What? Okay, so ram, poke, and shove all mean push, but what's the difference? Kubilay goes for poked now. Abira goes for poked. What did Leferite say? Because what Leferite said is the key to this. Okay, to shove is very hard. I shoved the people out of the way. He shoved the food into his mouth. He shoved the shovel into the ground. Ram is forceful. Yes, to ram is like a battering ram. They used a battering ram to break down the door. To poke is to well, to make a hole, but to poke is to push with something long, to poke with a stick. To shove is too hard. Ram is extreme. Ram it down your throat. To shove it down your throat as well. Shove is very hard. Poke is a lot more gentle. And notice as well, you poke with your finger. You poke with a stick. You poke here with the key. So he poked it out. Absolutely. Okay, I'm glad to hear that, Sue. The right answer is poked. Absolutely. Congrats, left or right. So, poked. Let's see, they're all, yeah, intensity. The point is intensity. Yeah, and I don't think they would ram or shove it, because I think they're probably very nervous about it working. Yes, I think it was a good one. Shove is harder than push, absolutely. Pokemon, absolutely, Ren. Okay, the next one, we've got two. As the group made their way from the prison, they encountered some convalescing soldiers. To convalesce is to get better from an illness, to spend time getting well. Pottering, loitering, sauntering, skulking with their girlfriends outside a nearby hospital, but managed to stroll past without kindling, fostering, stimulating, arousing suspicion. Poked out. Yeah, poked out is the right answer. Poked out, definitely. So, we're starting to get some answers to this next one. So, let's see what we've got. Vitaly goes for loitering, and so does Vibes, and so does Count Beauty. You can poke your friend on Facebook. Gabriel says sauntering. Cheyenne goes for arousing for the second one. Count Beauty goes for arousing. Yeah, no, the level of this group is quite stunning. Yeah, the fact that you can actually follow this and understand what we're talking about means you're at least a very high B2 or C1. Yeah. I grade this exercise as a C2 exercise, and is good for C1s because it improves vocabulary. So let's see. Ren goes for skulking and arousing, loitering and arousing for Leferite, Gabriel for arousing, Manji for loitering and arousing, Abira loitering and arousing, Roland loitering. Vitaly says arouse suspicion. Okay, what can I say? Arouse suspicion. Also says Renyard. Yes, this is a collocation. Yeah, to arouse suspicion. So without arousing suspicion. Okay, so to kindle is to start a fire, yeah? But you can kindle somebody's interest. Yeah. Potter around is lazing around, and sauntering is walking listlessly. And also the kindle word would work in the second one. So, to foster, to look after, to make grow. But if you kindle or foster, you're trying to make something start. You're trying to make something grow. You're looking after it so that it gets bigger. Yeah, I'm trying to kindle interest in this project. To foster a child or to foster a project, both of these you're looking after something. Yeah, and here you don't want to arouse suspicion. And these are very positive things. Kindling a love of books, fostering a love of books. Arousing wouldn't work. Stimulating. To stimulate means to make something more intense. No, it's foster somebody's imagination. Kindle has the idea of inspire, but notice, Kindle is a positive thing, yeah? And here they don't want to start any at all. So, okay, we've got more answers as well. Okay, so Amin goes for loitering and arousing. Sherwin goes for sauntering and arousing. Okay, Abdul, you need to just choose the right word. In the dark, there are demons, Foster. Okay, so to foster in somebody's imagination, I like that phrase. Okay, here, firstly, pottering. Normally you don't potter on its own, normally pottering around. I guess pottering with their girlfriends might just work. But I would prefer pottering around. To skulk is to hide somewhere and hope nobody notices you. So here the prisoners are trying to skulk. Yeah? Fostering a love of 19th century French antiques. I did that for many years, Referite. Okay, to skulk is to hide. There was a thief skulking in the bushes. Maybe if the soldiers are skulking with their girlfriends, they don't want anyone to find out what they're doing. So, sauntering. They could be sauntering with their girlfriends. To saunter is to walk in a relaxed way, and it doesn't fit too badly. But here they're probably loitering. To loiter is to just spend more time than necessary. Yeah? To loiter around, to wait in a place. So notice these soldiers are convalescing. So they've been injured, they've been shot, and maybe some of them can't walk. So loitering is the best answer. Yeah? I think they're loitering because they just don't know what to do. Yeah? They could be sauntering. They could be pottering around with their girlfriends. They might even be skulking with their girlfriends, but loitering fits the best. And they are arousing suspicion. Kindle the desire to learn. So notice, to arouse suspicion. Kindle is a thing to read books. It's like a reading device. Okay, so let's see, they could be walking in a relaxed way, but I think they encountered some soldiers sauntering past. The first thing is, these people have been convalescing. They could be sauntering, yeah, but I think loitering probably sounds better, yeah. So notice Ronan. Sauntering works. Walking slowly, could be. They're loitering. They're just spending time. I'm definitely going to display it on the wall somewhere. That's exactly what I was thinking about, left or right. That's funny. Yeah, Kindle's a device for reading books. Okay, so after a short walk, they arrived at the Adam and Eve pub. Would you Adam and Eve it? Would you believe it? Cockney slang. Where a taxi was waiting to whisk, catapult, hurtle the men onto workshop in Nottinghamshire. By the time Nottinghamshire. By the time their escape was discovered at about 9:30 p.m, the men had taken another taxi from workshop to Sheffield, where a car was waiting to take them to a safe house in Manchester. Okay, so Count goes for hair, Vitali goes for whisk, Cheyenne goes for whisk, Ronan goes for whisk, Manji goes for whisk, Amin goes for hair, Roland goes for whisk, Vitali loiter, hang around. That's good. That's a good definition, Vitali. And Leferite goes for whisk as well. Okay, to hurtle. I think to hurtle could work, but normally the stone was hurtling through the air. To hurtle, it does mean to go fast. And I think hurtle might work, but it's a very unusual choice. To hare the men. Normally somebody is hairing. You don't hair somebody. I haired to work because I was late. So normally to hair is, it doesn't have a direct object. Normally to hair is intransitive, and I wouldn't hair the men. Notice a hare is like a rabbit, but it's got great big ears. Okay, Ahmet goes for whisk. Abira goes for hurtle. Leferite goes for whisk. Abdul goes for hurtle. And I was about to choose loitering. To whisk. To take someone somewhere quickly. Okay, to catapult. To catapult is normally to throw. A catapult is like this thing with two prongs. Ptung. Yeah? Kids have a catapult. Or the Romans used catapults to throw huge stones at their neighbours. To whisk as well, to beat. He whisked the eggs, yeah, with a fork. Sherwin's gone for catapult. Hurtle and hare sound similar in the sense of rushing someone. To hurtle someone. I would, let's see, hare is definitely intransitive. Hurtle could be transitive, but it's not usually transitive. I'm also thinking something hurtling through the air. The rock was hurtling through the air. And I think maybe to hurtle something, I get the idea of throwing it. To gallop. To gallop is to ride on a horse really, really fast. Okay, to whisk. And now Pepax has come in Ren's account. To whisk, to mix when cooking with a whisker, with a whisk. Because a whisker, Ren, is what? A moustache. Hair. You're pepper now. Okay. So, the answer is whisk. To whisk somebody somewhere, to whisk, to take someone somewhere rapidly. Yeah, so the taxi whisked them to workshop, and then another taxi whisked them to another place. Gallop is like trot, but faster. So the horse galloped. Yeah, the horse started trotting and then it started galloping. So I think maybe this is the last one. Maybe we'll get one more. Recount, so no, it still hasn't come up yet. Yeah, to whisk someone somewhere, to move someone or something very quickly. Yes. Good, Ronan, I love it. So Maria's gone for to hair. Recounting the escape later, de Valera said he had been poised, hovering, positioned, braced to lock the door to the exercise yard gate when he was urged by his comrades to hurry away from the prison. Had I locked that door, so notice this inversion for if I had locked that door, nobody would have ever known how we escaped, he said. To whisk off, absolutely, Ronan. Hurtle into the breach, your body fall out of reach. To whisk off, notice left, right, this off means away. A man walked up, he walked to me, and then he walked off. That off just means away. He walked off in a temper. He stamped off. Off is moving away. He ran off. Yeah, he flew off. Okay, so he said that Valera had been ready to lock the door. So we've got Vitali for poised, Cheyenne for poised, Count for positioned. To whisk away, yes, that would do as well, Roland. Cheyenne says poised, ready. Vibe says poised. Manji goes for poised. Ahmed goes for hovering. Yes, whisk, definitely Maria for the previous one. Abira goes for positioned. Ronan for poised. And Amin for poised. Sherwin for poised. Paul for poised. Catapult doesn't work in the previous one, Maria. But the example used on. Yes. The previous example, I probably need to look at it, but I'll look at it later. 1 second. No, it doesn't help me. Okay. So anyway, yeah, it's whisked on from one place to the next place. Yeah, pass this on, pass it to the next person. So they were whisked on from the jail to the next place, and from that place they were whisked on to the next one. Okay, so we need to look at these. Recounting the escape later, de Valera said he had been poised, on the point of. So, I don't know if you saw the braced video the other day, but braced is holding in position because something strong's going to happen. Yeah, so I like that vitally. Poised, just about to do something. Poise is positioned, ready to do something. Yeah? Hovering, to hover over someone. Maybe hovering would work, but he's got the key and he's ready to do it if they give him permission. Yeah, but more commonly the boss is hovering over my shoulder. A hovercraft goes across the water. Positioned. Well, I guess he could have been positioned, but the right word here is poised. Yeah? He was poised to do this. So, poised it definitely is. Just about to do something. So, it's not positioned, it's poised. Because if he's positioned, he's in the position to lock the door. But if he's poised, he's probably got the key in his hand as well. So, that's enough for today. You've been very, very, very good indeed. It's been a great live stream as always. I will leave the chat on so that you can chat among yourselves for another 15 minutes or so. I would go and look at the bees, but it's got dark outside. So anyway, thank you all for coming. You've been a great group. You're all very high level. Thank you left or right for your donation. That's really kind of you. And I will see you all next week, inshallah, God willing. So stay safe, look after yourself, and I will see you all next week. And let's see if I can stop it without leaving the video on. So bye for now and thank you.